everyone. Welcome to Enter the Metaverse. Yeah, that's right. Horn, 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 horn. I'm your co-host for today, Wayne Smith. I'm joined by other co-host, Dion Cox. Say hi, Dion.
Hello.
All right. Xiomara Fernandez
Hello.
and Nini Maticole.
Hello, everybody.
All right. This is a place where we're going to discuss crypto, stocks, market activity, real estate, and financial news. Our subjects today will be 1, investing basics. Why should I invest at all? What's it going to do for me? Our subject off of that topic will be crypto education. Is crypto education worth it? We're going to look at Bitcoin. What makes it a good investment? We're going to look at Ethereum. What makes it a good investment? And as a teaser for next week's episode, our general question of the week will be, is a crypto winter coming? Or is it already here? Aha. See? So let's start off. Investing basics. Why should we invest at all? What are we going to get out of it? Especially if I'm new. If I don't know anything about what investing is, I don't know what charts are, I don't know what fundamental analysis is, I don't know technical analysis. All I do is what my cousin does. Why should I invest at all? Toss it to the group.
Okay.
I'm scared on this one. Y'all should know where I lay it on this one. I'm a speculator, so I just want to make money and get out of there. So
there you go.
One day I'll be an investor. One day.
Okay. Dion's going by the technical meaning of investor.
I believe that everyone should invest and have it be a part of their lives, because as I was doing my education, I study the behavior of the rich. They invest, and they've always been investing. So it's good to have, buy things like assets, because that's what they do. They buy assets, and they leave us little people, right? Or quote unquote, the poor, to buy liabilities. They leave us with liabilities.
Okay. So what would be an asset? Anybody? What would be an asset?
Okay, I'll take mine. So I've heard about investing, because I come from Africa, coming to the US, and you don't hear that much in Africa, but in the US you hear a lot about investing. And I was like, okay, I heard somebody say one time, the only time you make money is when your money is on autopilot. It's like clockwork. You don't have to be there physically to make it. And I realized, okay, that sounds good, but how do you do it where you don't have to be somewhere physically to make money? Then I read into it and I'm like, okay, there's investing. Okay, what's investing? Then you realize that there are different asset classes of investing, like buying gold, trading in the stock market, buying real estate and everything. I'm like, okay, I can be a jack of all trades. So I'll have to pick one.
Okay.
And see how much I can really invest time and learn into it. Because I was enticed about making money, but I don't have to be fit there physically to make that money. So then I realized, like, okay, I can get easy access to information on stocks, because at that moment in time, crypto wasn't still really dominant as it is now, even though we are still in the early stages. So Then I came around stocks. I bought some books, like, trading stock for dummies, like, went on YouTube to research videos and everything. Then I decided to throw some money in there. Initially, I had the mindset of a gambler. That's how I thought, because I didn't have the thick skin. And you throw money in there expecting to make some money back. And you happen to be in the bear market where everything is just red. And you ask yourself, okay, did I lose my money? Because then you are panicking. Like, let's say you throw $50 and now it's $30. Am I losing my money? Then I'll be like, should I sell? But then I talked to somebody and we're like, hey, you know what? When everything is down, that's where the rich throw in all their money. So that's a buy opportunity. It's like a sale, buy one and get one free.
Wait a minute. You're saying buy low And if you
And
got to
sell high.
sell high.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much like buy low, buy low, flip it up and sell it higher. That's where you can make profit.
But you know, most people buy high. Then
That
as
was
it
me
goes
from the
down,
beginning.
they panic and then
They
they
freak out.
yeah.
They
and then
freak out. They get out of it.
Yeah.
They just get
Yeah,
out of it.
they sell high. Yeah,
We'd rather do the
I mean,
opposite.
they sell low. So
Yes.
some people do it backwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
They let their feelings they let their emotions run wild.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's something that Wayne had to teach me, where he was like, you know what? Don't time the market, buy
Spend
leaps.
time in the market.
You know, he said, don't time the market. So for me being a beginner, and I still call myself a beginner, like I said, usually beginners, they panic and they start selling and stuff like that. And I am, I'm grateful of the fact that I got out of that really quick. I don't put the emotions into it. When I see the market down, to me, it's like a sale. It's like a Black Friday sale. Am I like, if people like I also tell people, if you buy a house, are you gonna sell your house when the market is low? No, you're gonna
you
just
still
have
want to own
to
your
wait
house. Yeah.
until it goes up again.
All right. So
So
as far as investing, then what I'm gathering from your conversation is get some education, buy books, do what you do in
get a
normal
mentor.
life. You know, how come we shop and look for bargains and actively we'll go from store to store to store. We'll drive to a different county to get cheaper gas. But when it comes to stock, we'll just buy it on a whim. And then when it goes down, we want to get rid of it. That doesn't make sense. We have to do what we normally do in life and look for bargains and buy the bargains, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And right now the market is full of hot deals and bargains.
Yep, that is correct. That is correct. We'll discuss some of those in later broadcasts because we are in a very interesting and, as the industry will say, choppy market. That's another way for saying it. Everything's on sale, basically. Yeah. But so
What
as
do they
Dion said,
want to call it during COVID? Kangaroo market.
Yeah, kangaroo market. Yeah. And no baby in the pouch either.
No.
Wasn't no baby in the pouch. It's just a hopping kangaroo. Now, when we look at it, so we invest for one reason then. It's to make income. It's to generate wealth and maybe generate wealth for our legacy, our kids. So we invest for a real reason. And that's why people should invest. Rosa, I think you put out a really nice post today where you had mentioned about working. Can you explain that, the rationale? Do you remember that post that you put out about
was that the
like
9 to 5 scam?
Yeah.
Was that the one?
9 to 5 scam?
Or was it the one where she was talking about think of it like a job or something like that? Think of investing as a job or invest every day or
that
something.
Was one. The other was about working, how you work for 40 or 50 years.
Yes. I have it up right now. It's the 9 to 5 scam.
Yeah.
The retirement age is 65. The life expectancy is 78. So basically you work for 50 years to be free for 13 years. And it stated dreams don't happen unless you take action. Who wants to do that? Who wants to work till they're 65? I don't. That's why I must invest. I have to. It doesn't matter that I just realized this last year. The fact is that I'm here now and I'm trying to make a change for myself, for the betterment of my life.
Good. Okay. So that's a great reason. You want to shorten your time in the workforce.
So you're gonna go fire? You're gonna go through the fire process doing that, or we can probably cover that later on.
Yeah,
some other time.
Because when you said fire, like people probably thinking, what was she gonna light herself on fire? What?
No, I forgot what the what is it acronym stands for. Financial independence and retirement, early age, fire, FIRE.
Yeah. Yep. That's Dave Ramsey's, right? Isn't that a
No,
proposal?
that's
Now,
some
what I'm
young.
gonna do is
It's-
what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut a lot of things out, which I am doing now,
Okay.
and I am going to live really, really low below my means.
yeah,
I
check out
mean, it
Fire.
might
Maybe we'll
get
do it on
boring.
a. That's what it sounds like. That's
Yep.
what they do. It started from a guy. He was
Yeah.
he was a minimalist. You know, where he didn't purchase things that he
Mhm.
didn't need. So he had a very simple life. 2 cups in the house. There's only 2 of us in the house. 2 plates. There's only two of us in the house. That
Yeah.
kind of thing. So he could use all his money to retire
Well,
early.
that sounds like just being poor.
Intentionally, though. Intentionally.
Yeah, but like you said, Dion, it's being poor for a reason to get something out of it very
Yeah, pretty
quickly.
much.
You know, because I had to think about it myself. I'm 63, so I worked for 45 years. You know, and that
Wow.
is a lot. That's a lot of years to work, and it sounds like almost like a prison sentence work. You know, you in prison for 40 years, you come out and only live 13 more years. That doesn't sound so great. So another good reason of investing. Now, when you think about education, just in general, and Dion, you brought it up about the books and everything like that. Is it a good thing to educate ourselves? Is it worth it to educate ourselves? Nini, you brought up about books as well. Is it a good idea to educate ourselves?
Yeah. So I'll take this one. So I was listening to one person who has done really well for themselves, and they were like, when you get paid, um, your salary, your income, whatever it is, have a budget for buying books. And I was like, okay, why do you do stuff like that? Then he's like, a lot of people spend, but they don't want to spend on the mind that will help them generate more money. Because how do you increase your knowledge? Is by learning. And how do you learn? Is by reading, is by listening to audiobooks, like watching. But invest in yourself, invest in your mindset so that your thought process will change from just being the ordinary person to an elite or somebody who want to be wealthy. And because anything that's given to you for free, you don't cherish it. But when you buy it, you put certain amount of premium to it because you spend your hard income on it. So buy books, have budget for books, and I've been doing that since I had him. So it's going to help you whether you're a trader, you are an investor, like whatever it is. You still know you need knowledge, whether it's technical analysis and all this stuff. You still need knowledge to be able to do it. So
Gotcha.
if you want to just invest, take the investment part in, just not investment, like all our lives. Like let's say each and every time we update our phones, like I knew iOS comes, you update it, but we don't want to update our mindsets because we are still stuck in the same mindset that will tell me, hey, run the red light. Why should I rely on the mind that tells me run the red light all the time? I might have to update it. And how do I update it? Is by constantly inputting something new into the old way of thinking. And how do I read something new? By reading, by watching videos, by listening to some of you talk so I can pick some information to be able to upgrade on myself.
Wonderful. So invest
You
in
know what
yourself
I ended up
first.
doing? Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think having a mentor is awesome. That's great. My mentor, I don't know if y'all know, my mentor is Wayne. He has taught me a lot. And then also, just being around people that talk about investing, crypto, your conversations ends up being totally different. Instead of talking about going out to the club, you're talking about, what stock you're going to invest or what crypto you're going to invest. So that also helps too. I also take courses on how can I, get into crypto and have it be a part of my retirement. So I do take courses for crypto. I have a lot more fun on the crypto side, but I also invest because it's good to have a portfolio where you have both, stocks and crypto and everything else, so that you'll have, you have exposure to all of it. And, it's just a good thing to just, have everything, well-rounded in your
Pretty much
portfolio.
don't
And
keep
those
all your
are
eggs in one
assets.
basket.
And those are assets.
Right. Assets. Things that grow in value. Assets.
Yeah.
What did you say, Nini?
I'm like pretty much don't keep all your eggs in one basket, so
Right.
that when it drops, like all breaks. So you kind of spread it apart like an octopus. Have a hand in almost everything, so you don't get caught up when one gets lacking. It's like when now the stock market is tied to the crypto market, so they drag each other along.
Mhm.
But initially, when the stock markets were tanking, I was having fun on the crypto side because there was no correlation. And yeah, there you go, to the moon.
Yep.
Then I realized, like, okay, with like institutional money kind of dragging into it, it's kind of, correlated to the market in a way that when the market is down, it affects the crypto market now. But with time, we'll get a skin to be able to navigate through.
That's good. So in a recap then, or maybe even thinking about it further, is we kind of get that having a stock market education is good, but is there education out there on crypto?
Yeah.
Yes, plenty.
Yeah, a lot. I started taking some.
Well,
crypto
I'm gonna
lessons
say.
from- Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, yes,
Sorry.
go ahead. You've been quiet for a
Rosa's
while.
got
so
her
I'll let you-
hand up. She got her hand up.
I would say yes and no, because like, so how y'all were talking about courses and all these other kind of things when it comes to crypto, like I really don't see any defined literature on the subject. So
Oh yeah.
what I was gonna say about you guys, is when you're on the subject, is education, a good thing, and what should you do?
Right.
When I was teaching people, I noticed a trend. Maybe we can go over this in a different episode or something like that, but
Yeah.
you kind of need an outline, and you have to know thyself when it comes to that educational portion, especially if you're a person that's been out of school, this, that, and the third. So not to put anybody on blast, but just because we all have different characteristics, right? So
Right.
Wayne, he can sit here and just listen to something over and over again, and he'll send it to me, and I'll listen to it, and then next week I'll be like, I have no idea what this is. But if I read a book on it, it's here. For some reason, that's just how my brain works. And I've noticed that with a lot of people.
You know what? There's
a difference.
there's also a channel called Whiteboard Crypto. It shows you an animated, it explains crypto and everything. And I think that has been one of the best channels that I found. And I'm actually part of their crypto team. So there's a crypto club that they have there, and they go through each and every blockchain. I like the way they did their educational aspect of it. But on YouTube, it explains things to you that your grandmother would understand. So it explains it in very, detailed, but just very simple.
Yeah, that may work
So
for you.
Whiteboard Crypto.
So what I noticed was a lot of people. I'm gonna check that out. But I've noticed a lot of people, they have like
I'm gonna give you an
differences.
experience like how I started mine, right? So I had a cousin who was already in crypto, and everything looks like a horror movie for me. Like I couldn't barely keep up with like Uniswap. Then like, okay, you have to swap and move to this. Like it was all bad. I'm like, okay, you know what? There's nothing under the sun that you put your mind to that you will never understand. So then I went on
Oh no,
Udemy.
I
Udemy
understand
have like
it.
I like Udemy.
I was just looking at.
I like Udemy too.
I was just like looking at the two different variances. So like when I was doing this, so this is my personal, like how my brain works, right? It appears that all of you guys have a different process of how you accumulate things. So like me, if I can't literally look at a book and then take a notebook and write down notes, it just doesn't absorb. It doesn't absorb. I can sit there and watch a YouTube video and it can absorb if I take notes on it. But then I feel weird sometimes. I just sit there like I'm back at school.
I was
with
about
the
to say
notebook,
that's what I
gotta
did.
sit there and take the notes.
With a note,
But
that's what I did. I'll listen to the tutors, right? Then I'll when they mention something where I feel like, okay, I think I don't understand this in the layman's term, I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah.
Then I'll take notes along the line. So after everything, sometimes I have to watch one episode like maybe 4 or 5 times to be able to get exactly what you're saying. And one of the things that I also did is I talked to somebody who could really explain it to my understanding in my native language because my cousin was already in it. Then I jumped on Twitter spaces where like, you have different people coming in and share ideas on different stuff. So it wasn't like a one source to be able to feed my knowledge, but I tapped into different places where I can like have different form of resources. Then they are all available to me then I pick which one really like affects my understanding really well, that I'll be able to really understand what they're trying to say. So it wasn't just taking courses on Udemy, but I have cousins like Rosa was saying, like Wayne is the mentor, which can speak in a way that she will understand. Then you join like a forum where you have people from different walks of life share ideas. Then you might pick up random stuff. Then after that, you do an extensive research. Google has so many information now. Initially, they don't have that much, but now you find so many articles which can really make you understand some of this stuff.
Yeah, Investopedia is my best friend, and you actually keyed on another point that I was going to get. So that's why I was like, this probably could be a full episode, I guess, or whatever at some point in time, because what we're talking about right here, right now, if you notice, we're just talking about crypto. So when we say that is education important, and we say yes, right? Yeah. And we tell people that in these other groups where I'm helping these people out. So now they're doing education on options, education on swing trading shares, education on crypto, education on that, right? And you just said you needed to, hear your cousin or someone in your own language to break it down. Well, when you're learning this stuff, it's another language. It's another verbs, new verbs, new adjectives, new. So when you're all over the place, people were failing so much because it's like, why are you trying to learn all of math at one time? You're trying to learn statistics, you're trying to learn trigonometry, you're trying to learn calculus, all in one whop. But as we're here, we're just talking about crypto. I just thought that would be something to add in there. And
Dion, to your point, you're bringing out one thing each that is good for this podcast. For the people that see this podcast, we're going to be outreaching to find out how they learn, so we can point them in the right directions so they can learn faster and more equitably for them. I noticed you mentioned that there's a lack of books on crypto. There's not a lot of books, but if you look at online material.
You froze for a second there.
Oh yeah.
Or more equitable in what?
Because you mentioned there was a lack of books on crypto.
Yeah.
There is, but online material, it's crazy how much online material there is for crypto. Yeah. And if you're a person that'd rather have a book and have that tactile feeling and have a book in your hand and a marker.
Froze again, brother.
And you and if you have a book in your hand and a marker and you start marking down different things in a book and that's how you learn, that's important to understand. So this podcast can help in directing people to how to tools where they can learn in their method, their way.
Yeah, so I got to check out this channel that she was talking about, because if they're doing the whiteboard and they're I have the literature, the wordage, then it helps me out.
Whiteboard crypto was it? Yeah, whiteboard crypto. It explains it with the whiteboard and everything, and that was. I liked them so much that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna invest in that education, and I like the way they are organized. But yeah, and then also I go to the library too, so I have borrowed books about crypto at the library.
You got some literature? I gotta see this.
Yes, they even have a dummies book for cryptocurrency.
I've seen that, but that was just the understanding of it. It wasn't really getting into like the trading,
right? The
swap fees, strategies. I'm a trader. I'm not an investor. You know what I'm saying? I need strategies. Okay. That's what I'm looking for.
I think
get in and get out.
I think what you might have to probably do is just take one aspect and just like study it, because it can be confusing when it's just all over the place. Like you have the NFTs.
Yeah, it's a whole world
on its own. Like you have the NFTs guys saying stuff like you can't even comprehend. Then you have the people in the purely decentralized world saying a lot of stuff. Then you have the people in the centralized part saying a lot of stuff. So you might just have to pick one at a time. And that's what I did. Like, I don't want to be just like, okay, I have all these meals being thrown at me. Okay, I want to just eat a dessert first. Let me just eat rice. Then I'll tackle the chicken. I take it one at a time because it can be confusing, and that I don't want to choke on it. So that's what I did.
Okay. Now, when we look at crypto, what's the if I was going to get into it and I was a new investor, why is Bitcoin important? What makes it a good investment? And you can include Ethereum.
That's the longest running. That's the king. That's the king of all crypto. That was the first one, running 13 years.
That's the Godfather.
It'll take me 13 years to buy one Bitcoin.
He said the Godfather.
It'll take me 13 years to buy one Bitcoin.
No,
you can buy fractional shares. They have Satoshis.
What?
You could buy fractional shares.
What? Now, see, that might be news.
That's what I do.
Audience. Fractional shares. So what does that mean? Fractional shares.
You can buy $10 of it if you want. $5.
Yeah.
No. So you mean I can get into Bitcoin for like $10?
Yep.
And I invest in Bitcoin every weekly.
Okay. But what's the value though? Why is that a good thing to do?
Yep.
What are your reasons for investing in Bitcoin or Ethereum?
I think it's a brand new tech, and like the world is kind of like migrating from the old ways of doing stuff where you have everything going to tech. And I feel like, okay, this is a new wave and it has been tested for like 13 years. That's like a lot of time. And it has gone through all the stress tests, like being banned, being like, there's so many stuff that are said about it. And for 13 years, I think that's enough time for you to really believe like, okay, I think this thing is here to stay.
The honeymoon's over, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Honeymoon.
Yeah, there's no time to be skeptical anymore for something that's been running for 13 years.
13 years, yeah. That's
so and making millionaires. Bitcoin has changed a lot of people's lives too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people digging in dumps trying to find their $23 million that they left in a USB stick that they've forgotten to throw away. And now the guy's got a metal detector and trying to look in the dumps in New York. I don't know how he's gonna find it.
Just Wayne, usually when I talk to people that are new to crypto, I don't want to start them anywhere else. It's like, okay, I see a bank, right? Before I look at like what the bank offers, like CDs, high interest, whatever it is, I just want to make sure they set up a bank. So I usually make people focus on like what a wallet is, how you secure a wallet before we even talk about trading and doing all this stuff. That's where I start them from. What is a wallet? How do you set up your wallet? How do you take ownership of your wallet? Like, who do you go to when, like, something happens to your wallet? Like the do's and don'ts of owning a wallet. That's where I start from before I introduce anybody to anything else.
So
that's actually a good place. That's a real good place to start.
Yeah. What's a wallet, huh? We're going to table that for another discussion then, because I think that's going to be worthy of full discussion.
All of that, yeah.
Because, I was going to pull my wallet out, but I can't put a Bitcoin in it. So
it's a different form of wallet too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So Bitcoin is the granddaddy. Ethereum is what?
It's a redhead stepchild.
The father? Oh, it's a redheaded stepchild?
I call
Ethereum is the app store. Ethereum is what the app store is.
Okay.
There's a lot of
accessories and all kinds of extra.
The Ethereum blockchain.
Do you know what I call Ethereum? I call Ethereum the prodigal son.
The prodigal son.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, I'm about to say B&B's the prodigal son. B&B's gonna come up in there.
So I don't know. We'll be back on this prodigal son. Ethereum kind of drifted away. It drifted away and started your own thing to challenge Bitcoin.
Let me tell you something.
Put a biblical story in there. I like that. The prodigal son. I like that.
It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something in September when that Ethereum merge happens. We'll see what's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen? Yeah.
What's happening then?
Oh, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot. A whole lot going on.
Yeah.
Well, let me know where I can speculate.
Fair on this particular podcast
to go in depth on that.
In depth, yeah. I'm pretty much gonna say the same thing. that's
Yeah.
like going into how the blockchain is really functioning, and I don't think we
Oh,
are there yet.
Yeah.
yeah. It's going to
All right,
change.
tell me later. Tell
It's
me
going to
later.
be game changing, and we're talking 3 to 25x return.
Yep.
Well, at least their daggone, well, if they gas fees don't get any better, no one's gonna really care. We're about
No,
Well, that's going
transitioning
to
money
change.
without getting raped.
And there's some key
Ethereum is
terms
expensive.
that our listeners can look up when it comes to Ethereum. What is proof of stake and proof of work,
okay.
and how those can change the whole game and make them valuable. Somebody might say,
Yep.
and this is my take. Somebody might say, well, it's not based on anything. But I would challenge them and ask them, what is the dollar based on?
Facts.
It's not gold, it's not
It's
silver,
not
it's
tied
not
to no.
bonds.
It's not tied to Google anymore.
It's not tied
I mean, not Google.
Somebody
It's not
said it.
tied. It's not tied to gold.
to gold. It's not tied to gold. It's not tied to any precious
They
metal.
printed
Why
out
does
of thin
everybody
air.
say that? It was called the silverback dollar, not the goldback dollar.
Right. But people assumed because the treasury had a lot of gold, i.e. Fort Knox, but we kept a lot of gold where I worked. We kept the world's gold where I worked, and people would assume that that's what it was based on. But it's a store of value. The laws of supply and demand determine what is valuable. When you're hungry, how many of us go and run into our kitchen and grab a bar of gold?
Nope. Nobody.
Not one of us. When you're dying of thirst, you're not running to liquefy silver and pour it down your throat.
No.
So we're looking at the thing that all of those are really backed by is confidence. And our listeners can look up Consumer Confidence Index, and we can talk about these subjects later.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that. Okay, never mind.
See, I don't, yeah. Oh, see. Ooh.
I really did. I thought you were going somewhere else.
Yep.
You caught me. Hook.
The consumer confidence that people have in these commodities, which the SEC is going to call them commodities, they're going to be securities.
Yeah.
And that's what is driving the price of these things. Because the dollar, I mean, come on. What can you do with the dollar really when you think about it? What is driving the price of the dollar? And so these are deeper subjects that we can discuss. I'm going to say this though, since in our discussion, our topic will be posted. Is there a crypto winter coming? I'd like to get some people's ideas on that, not today, but in our next broadcast. And we'll throw the question out there and we'll just do a yes or no poll, and then we'll see how people feel about it. And then we can discuss that. But there's a lot to unpack. We had a great session today, Enter the Metaverse. And there's a lot of things that we can bring up in the future as far as learning, applying the concepts, technical trading, fundamental analysis, technical analysis. When Dion says, I want to get in and out, what are the buzzwords for that? And we can talk about those things, especially when we talk about education. There's certain sites I like, there's certain sites for crypto education that Rosa has already been on, and she's learning the DeFi sector. That's another thing.
And you've shared some too, Wayne. You shared some with me, the grandma site, which I like the grandma site.
Yeah, that's
remember that one?
Yes, let's do DeFi.
And OIC, you shared OIC for the on the stock side.
Yeah, that's
the OIC one you shared with me too.
Yeah, that's another subject too. We want to talk about the options clearinghouse corporation. And why am I stock? Every time I get in a stock, why does it go down?
I heard somebody say that one time, like, is it that like I have a bad luck? Anytime I buy something, it just tanks.
Oh boy.
I'm like, oh poor boy.
Dion can tell you from a technical aspect. And
yeah, what are you trading? What are you trading when you do that? What are you trading? Is that crypto or?
Yeah. Oh no, just it's in general.
No, I think the person said crypto in general, but like I think it happens a lot.
Of, these are subjects that's going to help our viewers later on.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the shorting, how there is now a correlation, and there's a forced correlation between crypto and the stock market. implied volatility.
Yes, forced. Good way to put that. Forced.
It's forced. Yes, it's forced.
Remember, I could call a crypto winner. Everybody was like, "What is he talking about?" I'm like, "Yo,
Yep.
it's coming. I can't call it now. I can't see it on the chart." Nope.
It's getting a little scary. But
Yeah.
we can handle
Yeah,
can't
those
see
subjects
that.
in our next broadcast.